What's up with it?
Yes, sir. What's the deal?
Nothing much. Introduce yourself, let the people know who you are.
For sure. What's the deal, St. Louis? Your boy Stringz EMB, born and raised here in St. Louis, Missouri. For anybody who doesn't know me, now you will follow me.
Yeah. Now, you got a lot going on. You know, you wrote me. Kind of do a brief, summary of what you got going on. You're a musician. You got the Monster Sauce.
For sure.
You got the clothing brand as well.
Yes, sir. For sure.
What's the name of your clothing brand?
It looks like Iosono. Actually, I get it on right now. I always keep it on me, but it looks like Iosono, but it's Italian. It's pronounced Iosono, which is Italian translation is I am, which is the most powerful statement that we can say or in our vocabulary, just because whatever comes after I am becomes our truth. So the brand represents individuality, self-empowerment, it's just everything, just speaking positivity and love into yourself.
Okay. Well, with that being said, let the people know who exactly are you. Like I know I said at the beginning, but
For sure. So Stringz. Before Stringz, Gregory Bowdry, or most of my family, not all my family, they know me as Lil Greg. Just a little kid, honestly, from north side of St. Louis. I've been intelligent my entire life. I actually skipped the first grade. I went to the first grade maybe for 2 weeks, tested out, so I went right from kindergarten to second grade. Did my very first live singing performance back at our graduation from kindergarten in John Elementary. It wasn't called John Elementary, but yeah, my elementary school. But basically, I led the choir. We did "Lean on Me" and the "Wake Up All the Doctors." No, we did that song also. So that takes me back to my very first performance. But obviously, doing kids stuff, that was just something I was doing. It was fun. Doing little plays, it was fun. But I never really thought about taking singing or performances serious or thinking that it was going to be my career. So just fast forward to being a baby. Obviously, being a child, adolescent, teenager, I sung my way just through times. Whether it's me chilling with my cousins on the front on the south side of Montana, or just running through the hall, or even in the grocery store, just singing was always just my thing. It was just fun. So here in 2014, I ended up I got fired in 2012 from AT&T Yellow Pages. I was one of the top 5 guys there. They ended up firing me by saying that ultimately I was using or improperly using company and equipment for personal use, which technically I was, but ultimately I was just calling my wife. But if I'm one of the top guys, I mean, give me a break. I'm just making a personal phone call here and there. But ultimately they fired me. Like I said, technically I did do it. I was on the phone. Yeah, you're right. You got me. Fuck it. You got me. So they kicked me out. But I was okay as far as money goes because I made a lot of money there. And really what they fired me for, because I made too much money in 1 month and they didn't want to pay me out, right around to the tune of $25,000 a few years ago. But ultimately they kicked me out. I was okay with the money that I earned so far. So we were chilling. But obviously after a while, bills continued to roll in. No income was coming in, and I didn't want to just jump from this job just to any other job, because this job helped me understand and know what my worth was. So I couldn't just go out there to do anything. And so as the bills continued to roll in, I began to become more stressful. I then just fell into a really, really deep depression. I ended up getting closer to God. I started praying more, as we all do. Whenever things get crazy, we look more towards something that can help us, and God was right there for me. So I started praying more, and I then just asked a simple question, like, what was out there for me? I always heard that we all have $1 million story inside of us, and I was always also told that $1 million is going to come from something that you would do 100% if you weren't getting paid anything from it. So I started just questioning myself, just thinking like, what is it that I would do 100% full force even if I don't make any money? And singing instantly came to mind. And then honestly, within that week, I wrote my very first song called Time, that I produced and released back in 2014. I think it was in June or July. And then just honestly, just from there, the music, I just haven't looked back. Because I mean, honestly, I feel like I asked God a question. He granted an answer to me, so he gave me what I asked for, and now my job is just to keep on rolling until I just finish the mission that he has me on. So
So I guess over time you kind of released singles and up until you released your debut album. Was it Anchor? If I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the very first release was a mixtape. That was the one that Time was on, and then up until Anchor.
Is it I Am?
Yeah, exactly. I like you. But yeah, for sure. So singles after that, and then Anchor was my debut project. And honestly, with that, it was just me just feeling like, all right, I'm here now as an artist, because my mixtape is called A Dose of Me, because like I said, I jumped into music just because I was afraid, and basically I asked God what was out there for me. He told me music. Obviously I trusted him, but at the same time I'm like, man, I never did this before. So my mixtape is called A Dose of Me, because I was literally giving people just a dose of me to see how they felt about what I was putting out. They seemed to enjoy it and asked for more, so I went a little harder and came out with Anchor, because Anchor is actually part of a trilogy. And I just consider myself like an anchor of a new sound of St. Louis, so that's why it's called Anchor. My most recent project that I just put out August the 12th, it's called A Legato, which again is Italian. I just try to tie it in with the clothing, but it means it's tied to. So the trilogy is the Anchor is tied to, and then my third project is basically I'll reveal at that moment what I am tied to. But yeah, it's just me just continuing my journey. Finding myself, honestly, is really what I'm doing throughout this entire thing. I'm just finding myself. We all obviously deal with depression or have dealt with depression, so you know that if it's ever touched your life or your path, you don't ever really just get over it. You just get in front of it, and right now I'm just in front of it, coasting, continuously creating for the most part.
How did you deal with the depression? Was the music the outlet, or did you do therapy or meditation, or what?
Okay, so I'll go backwards. Meditation, yeah. So in a sense, my wife and I, shout out to Dr. Tebow, coldest chiropractor in the St. Louis area. If you need her, even before your back's on her, she cold with everything. But we detox once a month around the full moon. So during that detox, 72-hour period, which is equivalent to three days, we do a fast. We used to just do straight water, but now we do cucumber water. So it's just basically we juice a cucumber, but that's all that we do. So as far as meditation, that's how we do our meditation. We meditate from the inside out, because obviously the body is what it controls everything. Without a healthy body, the brain can't function the way that it's supposed to. So we basically what would it be? I don't know. We pull everything out of our body. Basically, we starve our body. Yeah, we starve our body from the inside out and replenish those cells. It takes 72 hours for cells to replenish. So we replenish those cells, and then on the day of the full moon, we step outside, shoes off, socks off, and we re-energize within the earth. And that's our form of meditation. We also do breathing exercises here and there whenever necessary. And then therapy, I did not necessarily go to therapy other than maybe just talking to family. And I didn't really talk that much. Honestly, the majority of my therapy came from me singing. And honestly, that was one of the ways that I knew that singing was for me. Because at that time, falling deep into depression, I had my beautiful a 1-year-old daughter, Carter, shout out to you, and at that time my beautiful 3-year-old son, Christian, shout out to you as well. But I had all this beautiful just around me, and all I could see was just dark. So I knew that it was something wrong with me. It was something that I needed to handle. And again, the only thing that I could think about that always made me happy was singing. So I started going to karaoke. Shout out to Deuce, Double Deuce, out in Brentwood. Went there and just sung my heart out. And like the feeling that I got, I was like, yes, this is it. So honestly, I just continued to chase that feeling, and the easiest way to obtain it was just me creating new music, belting it out, getting it out there to the people. At that moment when I was getting it out, I didn't really care. And at this moment, I don't really care how people take it, because I just know it's me. It's either you love it or you don't. So I just continue to create, continue to push, and I'm blessed with the love and the support from people.
You say Double Deuce. Is that the place right across from Whole Foods?
Bow. Yeah, right across from that plaza.
It's closed now.
Oh,
COVID hit, it closed.
That makes sense.
I used to go to that spot.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It was a dope spot.
Now, on the album Anchor, you have a record called That Sound.
Yes, sir.
And from, the lyrics sound like, you and a young lady I was out having a good time. Y'all met each other and y'all just kind of have, shooting the shits, as they say.
For sure.
And y'all just kind of, make a little bond within that little interaction.
Mm-hmm.
So then you got the skit right after that. And, you kind of, had a little moment there.
Yeah,
like,
what happened?
What happened, man? Basically, in a sense, it ended with, you're trying to set up, a second day of follow-up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended with her basically saying that you're too nice.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think, or this the idea that women go for the bad guy versus the nice guy? Because it caught I'm like, whoa, it kind of resonated with me.
I feel you.
My opinion on that is, okay, I can approach women, the gentleman approach, and they kind of be, like you said, with the too nice thing, but you come in with the cocky, all this and that, they all over you.
Exactly. It's weird, but yeah, it's the truth. And honestly, that's exactly why I threw that in, because I've been told I was too nice, but not necessarily in my adulthood. It was more like in, I wouldn't even say college, maybe like in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I wouldn't ever advise anyone to change themselves. If you're a nice guy when you're young, you're going to rule the world when you're an adult. Because nice guys and nerds, that's what they do. They rule the world. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, women, or at least the women that we're attracted to, a lot of them, they would prefer that jerk or that person who seems to be in control. And I think that's what that mean guy or that tough guy persona, that's how they perceive it. Oh, he's in control. He know what he's doing. This guy who's more timid, he doesn't know anything. But it's sometimes the complete opposite, because I'm timid and I'm chill, but I got a lot of stuff under control that I'm sure if I invite you in, you wouldn't want to leave.
Yeah, so, you heard him talk that.
For real.
Now I see you also really involved with your family, as you should be.
Oh, yeah.
But I just see you actually promote that.
Oh yeah.
Like all through your social media, you can speak about it here and there in your music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how important is it for children to see both parents, or maybe just have their family structure at home?
For sure. I think it's everything. Especially, obviously no shot to different races, but within the black community, our young black men, my son is a young black king, my daughter's a young black queen, they need to see black love. Whether my son goes off with another race or my daughter the same, I am completely okay with that. Love is love. But what they need to see is an example of their mother and father who look like them, love each other, communicate properly, and actually knock out tasks. That's why one of the most beautiful things about what I'm doing right now is that I have the ability to do it while they're growing up. So they're in the midst of all of it. They're on my songs, they're in my videos. They actually get to call shots. They help me sell hot sauce. Actually, we don't sell out of hot sauce until I have the whole family with me. When I have the whole family with me, when we go to a festival, we sell out everything. And that's just us, not necessarily doing it as a sales tactic, but that's just us promoting and basically pushing our family energy, because that's just what we're all about. I love the way our family is set up. We drive one car, not because we can't afford it, but it just gives us the ability to have that much more family time. Because when you look around, just like my son, he plays basketball, plays the cello, plays tennis. My daughter dances and plays tennis. So even within the midst of that, we see a lot of children get dropped off by just one parent, even though it's probably not bad, but to have that perspective, to know that both parents are always here, or at least as much as possible, even if they don't appreciate it right now, they're going to appreciate it as it continues on. So we just try to do our very best to set good examples, show them that everything isn't going to be easy, but if you want it, you can have it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how did you balance that time for the music, the business, and just being,
it's hard. Honestly, the easiest way that I do it is just by not thinking about it. I understand my task. Like even my daytime job, like right now, I got they see this stuff. They be like, oh, you had this on that day. But it's all good. The way it's set up, I get my work done. I just created some new business right before I left. So I'm sure they were happy about that email. But I understand my tasks, whether it be a week prior or a few days prior, and I just know, keep my head down until I knock out all of that. Because if you sit back and think about it, this shit gets overwhelming. So I just try to do my best to not think about it, understand what I have to do, and do it.
Now, with you being a singer, entertainer, you going shows and that singing, how do you deal with may not be you or just, we are all human, but how do you deal with temptations, where it's from like a woman trying to come on to you, not knowing that you with your situation unknowingly? How do you deal with that?
That's probably another one of those things where I just don't think about it. It definitely happens, but at the same time of being in this particular profession, you have to understand that there is going to be not necessarily a mesh of the lines, but there's going to be a balance that you have to do. You have to entertain it to a certain extent, and then you have to obviously pull it completely back. And when I say entertain it, I mean if I have someone who's really checking into my music and the side of me of artistry, I'm completely enthralled within that conversation. But as soon as it crosses over this line, then I'll say, all right, I'm going to respect that you're a supporter of my music and a supporter of my artistry, but I'm married. I'm happily married with my wife, and I have my children, and I either slide that in or I just bring that in without disrespecting what it is that they had. Because, I mean, you can easily, if I say no, turn around and, he's the worst. So I try to do my very best. I've been a salesman since 2008, so I'm pretty good with words. So I just basically create that particular boundaries to where they don't feel offended, but they are completely aware of what the situation is here and what's not going to be messed up. Because my livelihood and my structure and the reason that I'm able to move the way that I am is only because of my core and my family. So for me to mess that up, I would be an idiot, and that would probably be the destruction of everything. I do a lot of things at the same time, and it's only because there's a proper communication set up on this side. So.
How long have you been married?
I've been married since, actually, our anniversary comes up on the 18th of this month, and it'll be 8 years.
Okay. Yeah. Now, me, myself, relationships are not perfect.
I feel you.
I've been with my children's mother for 8 years.
Nice.
Just this recent, tough time in our relationship, so we... going through the motions, but we all right now. So I ask you, how did you deal with tough times during your relationship as a man? Yeah,
for sure. So we've been together since '03. So that's 18 years. We've been married. This month will be 8 years. So, and obviously tough times come. Even now, they still come. It's just different situations. Really, at the end of the day, I think it's okay to argue. I think it's okay to get your perspective out, because if you never say something, then this person will never get it. They would never hear it. They would never understand it. They think that everything that they're doing is okay. So at times, I wouldn't say that I necessarily blow up, because I'm really, really, really chill. It really takes something to just add up for me to just explode. I've exploded several times before, but then shortly after, I would apologize. And at the time of apologizing, there's also a balance there. You want to apologize for hurting their feelings, but you don't want to apologize for saying what you said, because if you apologize for saying what you said, that's basically you apologizing for being you or having your feelings or your perspective. If I'm apologizing for being me, then that means that I'm saying that I'm nothing and only your feelings matter, which shouldn't be that way in a relationship. In a relationship, you should, obviously, there's not ever going to be a 50-50, but you should always try to do your best to obtain that 50-50, whether this one person is working 60 and this one is working 40 or vice versa. You should always work towards an even keel or an even balance between the two. But I mean, just tough shit is going to come. It's all about the relationship, and honestly, that's how you know how real the relationship is. Not because you go through tough shit, but how you resolve after that tough shit and how y'all continue on. That's just my perspective.
I definitely agree with that.
That's love. Okay.
Now, recently was I can't remember the exact date. Was it September that you opened up for Lyfe Jennings?
Yeah. Okay. What was September 22nd, maybe? It was September. Yep, here in St. Louis. For sure.
Like, Clayton.
Clayton Plaza. Yes, sir.
Yeah. How was that?
Man, that was amazing. It's okay. So, I had just had my headline concert at Diamond Music Hall. That was on the 19th, and then I saw that that concert was here, Lyfe Jennings, and I was like, man, this is God, because ever since doing music, I was always thinking like, man, if there's anybody that I can open up for or go on tour with that matches my vibe or that I can add to, either be Lyfe Jennings, Anthony Hamilton, B.O.B., or possibly even
You said Anthony Hamilton. That's you.
Yeah, for sure. That's love for sure. Yeah, exactly. So I was all in. So I ended up seeing who was the promoter. I reached out to him actually a few times in his DM, just blowing him up, basically giving him stats from my show, because at our show we did really, really well numbers wise. So I threw all that at him, and he didn't respond instantly. He responded maybe after the second or third time. Shout out to Cash Cones, and he was like, "Bro, I've been looking at it," and he had sent me an inbox on IG DM, and it was a screenshot of me, and I was like, "Huh?" He said, "Oh, bro, I didn't mean to send it to you. I was trying to send it to somebody else, telling them they need to check you out." So I instantly started smiling. I was like, "Oh, man." And then I think it was later that day or the next day, he hit up and was like, "Bro, how would you feel about opening up for Lyfe?" I was like, "Hell yeah." And so I got on that. The show was sold out. When I first got on, it was damn near sold out. He put my name on it, and I got a flyer created. Shout it out to my people. It's sold out. A bunch of people started hitting me up about tickets, so I asked him. So he extended it out, opened it up again, sold out again, and it was just a beautiful event. So I got out there. I did my thing. After I did my thing, they said I could have went a little longer, which I wish they would have told me, because I'm always willing to entertain a big, nice crowd. So we finished up. But when it was time to take pictures with Lyfe, I ended up rapping with his tour manager. At that time, it was his DJ / his music arranger / tour manager, Rio. Shout out to you, brother. And he was just kind of hinting like, "Man, you were dope. I'll bring you out to Chicago." As soon as he said that, like, wow, okay, I'm on his head. And so, long story short, I ended up connecting with them, and we did 4 shows out of Chicago, two shows each night. All of those sold out. Crowd out there loved me. I'm actually still communicating with a bunch of them from Chicago. They bought up the Monster Sauce. They hit me up about that. So it's been beautiful, bro. It really has been beautiful.
Yeah. So talk about the Monster Sauce.
Yeah, for sure. So Monster Sauce STL is what the EIN and also the business license is under, but it's a chaotically controlled concoction of spicy peppers and tropical fruit. So ultimately, I'm a hot sauce head. I started off as a hot wing head. Right now, since like the fasting and whatnot, my wife and I, we don't eat meat. So we eat fish and vegetables and all that other good stuff, but not like chicken, pork, beef, and all that good stuff. Well, when we go out of the country, we eat it, just not in the U.S. But ultimately, going back to being a hot wing head, we travel a lot, whether it's to different cities or different countries. So I'm always that guy, especially when we go to Memphis. She's from Memphis, Tennessee. Shout out to Memphis. We'll go, and a lot of people look at Memphis and think that they're really big on barbecue, which they are, but they are huge on hot wing spots. And you would only know that if you're in Memphis and want to get something to eat, that somebody gonna recommend hot wing spots. So when we were there, that's why I went to college also. Just to try everybody's hot sauce, and just because I want that level of flavor, I want that level of spice. The same translates for when we go to different cities, whether we're vacationing, I want to buy different hot sauces so I can taste a different level of spice. And basically I just got to that point to where I didn't feel that I was receiving that level of spice mixed with that level of flavor, so I started making my own hot sauce. So I've been making my own hot sauce for years. I took my family to Mexico earlier this year. Shout out to Tim and his family, but we ended up meeting a family out there. They initially thought that we were YouTubers, but we told them we weren't. Their kids started kicking with our kids, and I take my sauce with me. This was before I had a label, packaging, or anything, and just in a little travel thing. And so I had the sauce. I was eating my breakfast, and I put some on my eggs. He's like, "Bro, what's that?" I said, "My sauce that I made." He said, "You made that?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Let me taste that, bro." And he tasted it. He was like, "Bro, if you ever start selling this, you won't have to work again a day in your life, bro. It's delicious." I was like, hell yeah. He inspired me. I hit up my graphic designer that particular, at that moment through IG, had her draw me up something. She had it ready in a few weeks. It was gravy. He lied to me though, because ever since we started selling it, I've been working way harder. But basically I named it Monster Sauce because I named our family the Monster Family. A few years ago, my daughter, who's now 8 years old, caught her. She came running out of her room and was like, "Daddy, daddy, daddy, there's a monster under my bed." I went in, checked, of course, no monster. Ted said, baby, there's no monster, but don't be afraid of monsters because we're the monsters. And then ever since then, I created the IG page, The Monster Family. We've been going by that. And when I made the hot sauce, I just named it Monster Sauce just because of that. But yeah, it's delicious. It's going to be, realistically, the most unique hot sauce you've ever tasted. And ultimately, as far as the combination goes, is going to be the spiciest and tastiest hot sauce that you've ever had. It's, like I said, it's a mix of spicy peppers and tropical fruit. There's nothing like it on the market. Actually, right now, I have a pretty serious meeting tomorrow. Not pretty serious. I have a serious meeting tomorrow with a large restaurant chain here in St. Louis, Missouri. We're also right now working with Nestle. They're doing our nutritional breakdown so we can get it manufactured. It'll be in Schnucks first, and then we're just going to try to hit every grocery store within the area and worldwide, nationwide that we possibly can. And yeah, it's been love so far. I've been selling it, obviously, just like not necessarily door to door, but like just promoting it through my IG, and it's been selling. We started selling September 24th. We sold over 300 bottles so far. We've had an international sale in Bangladesh. Our very first repeat client bought 10 more large bottles. Our second repeat client bought 24 large bottles. And so it's like really, it's just been moving. Yeah, it's just been moving. I'm nothing but blessed. I'm just going to keep on, like I said, just pushing what God put in me to push out and see where it goes.
You gonna look up and you have 100.
Man, hey, man, tell him.
Hold on, give me a minute.
Man, you so right. You so right.
Now I see you said a monster collab.
Yeah.
On the
yeah. Okay, so that day, and honestly, that just happened as far as like reaching out or even coming across him, because we go to a Thai restaurant all the time in Del Mar Loop. So we had just finished Thai, and it wasn't anybody's birthday, but after Thai, we went down to Baked Bear. And basically I was going to Baked Bear, and they showed love. They played the music inside of Baked Bear, and then came out, and my wife, she just happened to notice them across the street. They were coming out of the area, so that's Del Mar Hall, the pageant. They were coming out of the area, had the cameras, and he has just a big old, either a coat or a big old hoodie on. And she was like, who is that? That's somebody. I said, who is that? I couldn't see the face. And I was like, I don't know. So I went in to Baked Bear, came out with our stuff, and then they said, there he is right there. And they looked. She said, I said, oh man, that's Smino. And so I grabbed my hot sauce, went over there, and they were looking, you know, when you from St. Louis, you don't want somebody to just run up on you. So he was looking like this. I was like, bro, I'm not about to mess with you, bro. I just want to give you something to come rap with you. And so I went over there, started talking to him, and what was weird, or not necessarily weird, but it was different, is I was trying to communicate with just him, just to rap with him and stuff about the monster sauce, just about me as an artist and connecting and whatnot. But he had somebody holding holding the mic, like right here, and somebody else was recording. So he was actually in the process of shooting a documentary. So we'll be on that, just promoting like my brand, my hot sauce, and my family and whatnot. But I also started rapping with him about about a collab. So definitely be on the lookout for that soon.
Yeah, that's dope. That's
really dope.
Now, just observing your Instagram page and YouTube channel, what caught my eye was the lyric videos. Okay. The lyric video.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you do it yourself or?
So I set it up myself. My videographer, shout out to Matthew Goodman, the Film Legends. He actually shot it for me in his studio, which is actually not too far from here. But yeah, he did that.
Okay, yeah. I think when I started doing it, someone told me, I know somebody else they did it, but they did it their own,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, people probably do it all different ways.
I couldn't think of his name. They say actually a singer also. It's probably I'm sure.
Dope. Okay.
And I seen. I'm like, oh dang, this is the person they was talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. People seem to resonate with those a lot.
Yeah. I'm trying to just, like I said, make that something here going on in St. Louis.
Yeah, people love
it. Can break,
exactly. To break down what was inside of you when you wrote that song. Actually, that's very, very powerful. Yeah.
Now you spoke about attending school in Memphis and your wife being from Memphis, and I know they just had the unfortunate situation recently with Young Dolph.
Yeah.
You actually went there to pay your tribute to him, his family, just the Memphis community as a whole. How was that atmosphere on that scene?
it kind of puts you in a sense to where if you're really a man, you really respect your brand, your image, and what you are bringing up as far as your empire, your kingdom, or even just your household. It brings tears to your eyes. Cause, all right, so just put it out there. I wasn't necessarily like the hugest Dolph music fan. I like Dolph, and that was mainly because his delivery reminded me of Silk the Shocker. And I don't know how people feel about Silk the Shocker, but he was like the Silk the Shocker of Memphis to me. Mm-hmm. And what kind of brought that love for Dolph back is I have a homie, shout out to you, Trap Johnson. He's from Memphis, but he's right now in California, and he's extremely unorthodox. And every time I hear him, and every time my wife and I hear him, I would just tell her how much I love him and how much like I just want to grow as far as musically with him. And I always compare him to Young Dolph. Like, yeah, man, his delivery is unmatched because it's so different. And nobody's going to step into that lane because they're afraid to do it. But that's what Dolph was to me musically. He was the elephant in the room as far as music. But obviously, his method works because he created an empire. Mm-hmm. But what brought me to where our hearts tied is because he was actually doing great things within his community. He was doing obviously the turkey drive, which he was heading to. He bought several properties for his family just so they can have that generational wealth. He put his people on just so they could put their people on. Like, that's real king shit. Like, no matter what you feel about this man, for somebody to do this for people, whether they know them or not know them, because I mean, he knows this person, but he doesn't know this person that they're helping. So for him to like just create what he was creating, that is beautiful, because honestly, that's what I'm all in it for. I'm in it to create this particular flower bomb here in St. Louis and then expand and spread it out, spread the pollen out to my people as much as possible, because once I get there, because I know I'm going to get there because God put it in me. Once I get there, it's nothing. I think maybe St. Louis should have probably had that extension or that olive branch reached out to us long time ago, because we have so much. We just haven't had that unity that other cities have. And I apologize for branching off from the conversation, but ultimately this just drives back to Dolph. What he was creating in Memphis is a beautiful thing. It's still a beautiful thing. When we went to the site, we just went just so I can just bring in the energy. And it was a lot of people. It was a nice amount of people, and honestly, just seeing them and how much they love him instantly brought me back to, damn, he only came to this spot because his mama hit him up to go get cookies. So y'all shot this man up. Like, it was literally an assassination. Y'all shot this man up while he was going to get his mama cookies. Hit him up, obviously, all in the back. Little ass spot. The spot all boarded up. And his posters, dollars. They said that they had like 20s up there. People were snatching 20s off or whatever. But they had poster boards, candles. Honestly, everything that you can think of, just showing love. My wife, we had ended up meeting Boosie Customs, which is Boosie's chef. Shout out to you, Boosie Custom. But she was asking him, because we was just sitting there just chatting, and you can sense the energy. Like, everybody's just hurt. Like, man, the king just got trampled, and it's just bullshit to me. But she was like, so do you think they'll be back? He was like, who? He's like, the people making cookies. You think they coming back? He's like, they better not. And I was like, whoa. And he was like, yeah, they better not come back. He said the person who shot him was the nephew of the person who owned the cookie store. So it's like all type of bullshit, because obviously, wow. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, everybody knows that it's a lot of stuff going on in Memphis between like kings and whatnot, and obviously you got your stars here and your stars here, and there's beef. But just to know that whatever, all of this brought this dude had a family, had a wife. No matter what he was doing, we haven't heard about him doing anything on the sneak tip or on the illegal side. So maybe he was in the conversion or the transition of where he was changing his life. Allow that man to grow. And then we also hear that basically they ended up he was part owner, and this is weird because I'm on the interview giving out this shit, but he was part owner of the cookie spot. So it's like that they were trying to pull him out of the deal. Yeah, I say it's. No, we don't know the full story. You just exactly
you heard from the people that's living in Memphis. Yeah. Even just caught my attention when you said that the people said, "Oh, the family better not come back to their shop because of the association with the alleged shooters." It's just bizarre because I don't know, but just people the owners may not have nothing to do with it.
Indeed,
and it's just possible. Because the mentality of people. Similar situation happened here in St. Louis where someone, unfortunately get killed, and first thing that people blame are their friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because why you didn't go, why you didn't, we didn't have nothing to do with it.
Exactly. Yeah, you show right. That's
we hurting just as well.
The same. You show right, even if not more, because we with this person all the time. Yeah. So you're exactly right. It definitely could just be a situation. I pray that was just hearsay, because I don't know, man. It just hurts. Obviously, you don't want anybody to die. You definitely don't want anybody to get killed. But if somebody was actually literally making a positive change for their entire community, for an entire flock group of people, a whole breed. He was basically breeding a whole breed of entrepreneurs, and I don't know, man. I don't know.
So just one last question.
Yes, sir.
You said something during that conversation. Spoke about how St. Louis kind of struggles with the unity here. If you had a suggestion, or you can speak on maybe a reason as to why we are not unified, or like I said, a suggestion is for a way to unify us, what would that be?
So I think the reason that we're not unified is ego. I think that's probably the main thing is ego. Is some people, they like to click up, they like to feel as though their group is better than this group, or they've accomplished more than this person, or whatnot. So, and I get that. Maybe you have put in a lot more time, so you don't want to necessarily open up the ranks to this person to allow them in. That's okay. So from my perspective, I'm like, all right, if they're looking at me maybe as the dark horse, or the little guy, because I've only been doing music since 2014, so I've definitely not. I haven't been on the scene as long as a lot of people, but I've been on the scene long enough to where my name it definitely pulls a little weight. So my position, what I plan to do is not worry about any of the negative stuff. Basically, I plan to drive as hard as I can to the peak of my position, and then I'll put myself in the position to where I'll become that top part of the pyramid only so I can help bring people up. I'll create that unity. I'll show you that my level of quality is top notch. I'll show you that my level of music is top notch. So once you have no choice but to respect me, you're going to respect the people that I feature. You're going to respect that's why on my projects, all St. Louis artists. That's why I do that for a reason, to show that we can do every single thing that he can do, she can do, they can do. Even if it's not the original of what they did, we have the creators, we have the platforms around us to create something just like that. The only reason that this is popping is because they started it and they continue to do it. All we have to do is start it and continue to do it. Simple as that. So my job here, really, I don't know if God gonna take me out to earth after I get it all going, is to build that up, get where I'm supposed to go, and bring the rest of my people up. And even people that I don't necessarily 100% associate with, if I know that you have a good heart and you want to try to do this for your family, let's go. Let me co-sign it. If all it take at that time is a co-sign, if all it take at that time is a feature, if all it take at that time is a picture, let me know. Let's get it, and let's get it popping. And honestly, like I said, we should have received that. No names dropping, but it kind of feels like we could have and should have maybe received that from a few years back, and maybe that train could have kept going. But right now we don't necessarily have it, so we just got to take what we have and basically get the best out of it. So I'm just gonna keep on pushing until I do exactly what I can. Really. Real shit.
Shout out to your social media, let people know where they can find you at.
Yes, sir, for sure. On all social media, same across the board, is Stringz EMB. Stringz EMB on Instagram and Twitter. There's no space. On Facebook is Stringz Stringz space EMB. YouTube, I have a slew of videos, actually a few more coming down the pipeline that y'all should love. It's the same Stringz space EMB. all your digital download platforms, streaming down platforms. Check me out, Spotify, what is it, Deezer, Tidal, Apple Music, iTunes, wherever you listen, Pandora, wherever you listen to music, I am there. Just pop me in. I got a song for every single one of your vibes, whether it's a bright day, it's a gloomy day, you on the beach, you in the igloo, I'm here. Put in Stringz, Monster Sauce, Iosono the brand, IOSONOTHEBRAND.com is the website where you can also catch and purchase Monster Sauce until we're in your local grocery stores. But ultimately, follow me. I can't say I follow back no more because I don't. And congratulations to me. I've been working my ass off. I got a blue check. I'm verified on Instagram. That shit crazy. I don't even know. Like, really, I just been working really, really, really hard. And yeah, I don't talk about myself a lot. Well, to my wife and my children, I do, but I don't really talk about it, try to brag on myself. I just try to do my very best. Like I said, I'm just walking in this path that God gave me. I hope y'all love me. I hope y'all appreciate me because I love y'all.